which I prefer, but I wouldn't say necessarily that I fear it.
Do you okay, is it kind of like the difference between, so you might want not to choke up on the mic. Is it like the difference between not being afraid of heights but being afraid of falling from the heights? Is there
Oh yeah.
I don't know how to describe that difference.
Yeah.
Also, I went to a shindig because I feel like any place that that has like real money is not a party, it's a shindig. Mm-hmm. And so we go out on the balcony. I'm assuming you know this feeling. Do you know the feeling where you're at a high place and you have this weird urge to jump off?
Yeah.
How do you describe that?
That's just just an urge. Like it's like a weird, like your body, you know you're not going to do it, but then your insides are like, well, but what if you did? You should.
Yeah.
We should try it. No, not really. But like, what if you did? Just you know.
It does. It feels like almost a game of chicken in your own ego.
Yeah, it's your nerve. I think it's your nervous system antagonizing you.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
How have you been?
I've been pretty good. I've learned that my biggest fear is just vacant rooms and containment.
Okay. How did you learn that? I hope it wasn't the hard way.
Yeah, it was in a psych ward for a few days.
Okay. Do you want to talk about that?
We can, yeah, because it was recent. It wasn't because like I wanted to kill myself, but I said I wanted to because I was feeling like emotionally flat for weeks. Mm-hmm. And
emotionally flat. Okay.
I don't even know how to describe it other than I wasn't feeling anything, and I was having one hell of a week. I got a parking ticket. I locked my keys and my phone in my car the night before 4th of July. Mm. So I essentially stayed up all night on AAA trying to get somebody over. And then I learned that AAA doesn't send anybody over overnight because of lack of drivers. Mm. So
that's the worst time to not send somebody over.
That is the worst. That's like when people need help.
Yeah.
And then I brought my laptop out, and then I forgot it outside, and it got rained on, and I ruined it, and it was like, and I just realized like none of this was affecting me, and I couldn't tell that it was like, oh, it's I got bigger problems, or if it was like, man, you are just stressed the fuck out to be even doing all these things. Like you should know better.
So were you feeling numb during?
Yes, yeah, very, very numb, and so I take Klonopin. So I took a few Klonopin.
What is Klonopin?
Klonopin, it's a benzo, so it's like for anxiety that I don't really get, but I use it for sleep and payment for things, and
okay.
So. Yeah, I went there and I said, I was like, do you guys have a mental unit? And they said, yeah, are you having thoughts of suicide? I'm like, yes.
Oh, so you brought yourself there?
Yeah, I brought myself. Yeah, I didn't get taken. Nobody saw me there.
Right, so a windowless van didn't pull up
and was like, come in here, because I would have volunteered at that point. Wow. If they were like, you come in here, I'd be like, all right,
right.
And that's yeah. Okay. So I get there and it's like nothing that you think it was, and I get there like on a Friday because they kept me overnight in Chicago because they couldn't find a bed for me, and then they woke me up in the morning and shipped me to Elgin.
Where's that?
It's like. It's way out in the sticks. It's like way out in the suburbs. It's actually a pretty big city, but yeah, dude, it was just there. It's just jail for suicidal people.
That sounds not helpful.
It's not, dude. And I'm just like, I'm sitting in group therapy, and I did not want to participate because I was pretty like pissed at their lack of knowing how to take care of a sad person.
Right.
But I was angry and I was flipping out almost every day. So they put in my chart that I was bipolar. I was like, you guys are just negligent to the point of stupidity. Yeah. I go in there and, I said, I don't understand how you guys think putting people in a room with nothing but a bed and a blanket is doing anything for them. People need sunshine. They need vitamins. They need vitamin D3. They need nutrients. And I said, you're not doing any of this shit.
Would you have gone there on your own had you known what it was going to be like?
No, probably not. I probably would have If I had known that I wasn't going to get the help that I thought I was going to get, I wouldn't have wasted my time. I was there for 6 days. And every day I was like, let me the fuck out of here. They're like, you need a psych. Where the fuck is he? He's on vacation. Of course he's on vacation. Why would he be here when I'm here and need him? So he showed up the day that I was leaving. And then I decided that day, I'm telling this doctor, let me leave. I don't even fucking care at this point. And I left.
And you recently left. This is, what, like a week ago?
Yeah, I got out Tuesday.
And how you feeling now? You seem
I'm fine now.
Okay.
It's like was it good for me in in hindsight? Yeah, I think so, because it just left me with my thoughts.
Yeah.
Because I think what was happening was my thoughts kept repeating itself to the point where I was silent. I don't know if that makes sense, but my thoughts just were just in a loop. I call them thought loops.
I actually do think that might probably not the medical term. I'm sure it's way more complicated and a lot more syllables. But yeah, a thought loop. What were the thoughts?
It was literally just different variations of what am I doing with my life. Because it's like, I'm 34, I'm single, living in a basement, and I'm just like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then I'd be like, you're 34, alone, living in some old Polish man's basement, And I wanted to go to college, but then I'm like, for what? Like I don't even know what I want to go for. So it's just an accumulation of things. And then when relationships fall through, when things you have hope for fall through, and other things, I felt like I was going nuts, but I wasn't responding to anything. I'm the type of person where I would go to work and I would just leave, which I did that day. I go on break. I said, I'm going to take a break. And then I just went home, and then I went to the hospital. They're like, where'd you go? And I'm like, I'll tell you later.
So wait, does your job know what was going on?
Kind of. They might have pieced it together themselves, but I didn't openly say, I'm not feeling mentally really good, so I'm going to go to the hospital. I just kind of said, I don't feel well. I'm going home for a little while.
Do you... Okay, so what about comedy? Is comedy not a thing that you're focused? You seem almost... What is the word? Everything seems far away to you right now.
Oh yeah.
Like when we first talked, the unreleased episode.
The unreleased one.
Sorry about that. I misinterpreted what your messages were about that, but it is deleted. You seemed like a little higher energy, if that makes sense.
Today?
No, then.
Then.
Yeah, you seemed like wackier, sillier, and now you feel really somber almost.
Oh yeah, I want to say that this is how and to be honest, this has been an improvement, because I would just go in and I would just sit quietly at mics or shows and go home and just go to bed, and getting lost watching TV, and I never watch TV.
Is comedy not doing it for you anymore?
It is. I mean, I'm still out there doing it. Am I out there trying to get put on shows right now? I don't think so, because right now I'm trying to work on I'm hitting mics more now. Because I just want another 10 minutes of newer stuff. So that's what I want. I'm getting so tired of the same old shit that, people that have booked me pre-pandemic, I'm still doing some of those jokes, which I'm going to keep them, but I want to have more stuff. I don't want to rely on that. And I've been getting lazy with writing. So I'm trying to force myself to get perspective. There's things that I do comedically, because I've been doing this for 5 years now, is when I get stagnant comedically, that tells me that I have to go out and do something and change my perspective or gain perspective, really. So that's when I take a step back and I just live normal life and figure out what that is. And sometimes I purposefully, like with the psych ward, is put myself in stressful situations or just terrible situations, just so I can figure out how to get out of it, and to also probably have something to talk about. So it's like, I spent $6 in a psych ward, and they kept me longer because I smuggled a vape in there. Yeah, I won't tell you how I smuggled it in there, but
There's different ways.
Let's just say I was vaping on my own nectar for a while. I felt like I earned it. So I was a little salty that they kept me there.
So
Also salty for other reasons too.
So you I don't know, would you describe that as self-sabotage, or is that something different?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Yes, it was self-sabotaging, and I do that in every aspect of my life, but
relationships and work, just everything. There's this desire to self-sabotage.
Yeah, if there's a way for me to fuck it up, I'll figure it out.
Do you think, is that like do you feel like you deserve, oh no, I'm good right now. Do you feel like you deserve happiness? Like,
I feel like everybody does deserve happiness, but I think the problem that a lot of people don't realize is that happiness is a fleeting feeling. And and for a long time I thought to myself, I just wanted to be happy, but happy is just an emotion you chase. And just like any sensation, whether it be drugs or whatever, it's going to go away. And people make themselves insane trying to chase something that you can't hold on to for a long time. Money, things that do get you happiness, sex, love, all that kind of stuff. Because when you rely on that and it goes away, that's going to fucking devastate you. So I've just learned to chase contentment, I think.
I was actually about to say the word
contentment.
There's a evenness to contentment. You can be happy and content, and you can be sad and content. You can be angry and content. There's like a foundation that comes with being content. I
think that's what, with me saying that I've been emotionally numb, I don't know, am I just being numb or am I just content? And it wasn't a negative, it was neither negative or positive when I had those thoughts going. And I wasn't like, if I don't go here, I'm going to kill myself. It was more like, I don't feel anything, and that's not good. So, but I don't know if that's contentment or, because I'm not necessarily sad. Like, I don't have, my life is pretty fine. Could it be better? Everything could be better.
Do you feel like, I'm sure the logical part of your brain is aware other people experience the things you're experiencing. You're not alone in your feelings. There are people that experience this, but internally and emotionally, does it feel like you're alone? Does it feel like nobody else is experiencing this?
No. And that's the comforting part of it. Is that I know that people have different thresholds for stress and, despair and what they can take. So, I've handled a lot worse than I have now. And then, I kind of asked myself this question. I'll ask you, do you want to live to grow as old as you can?
As old as I physically can? No. Yeah. I have a soft spot for the elderly. Part of that was because of my grandpa. And I got to see like it was a privilege. I saw what debilitating old age looks like, and that is just the worst.
You got to see it, huh?
Yeah. I would rather get to right before debilitating old age, but that's and I'm working on this. I don't know if it's healthy or not to feel that way, but that is with the caveat that I'm finally doing what I want to do, meaning stand-up comedy, living off of the art, or whatever. Like, if I'm 63 and I'm still at the open mic, I would feel devastated. Yeah. I would be very upset, which I can't. It gets to me a little bit, I guess. My woes as of recent. I have never felt so far away from my goals in comedy in my life.
Why?
I took my first real break from comedy during quarantine. I was doing street stand-up. I had found ways around it to continue to perform, but this past maybe month and a half, the substitute teaching thing was ending, so I was about to be unemployed. The pink line is a motherfucker, so I couldn't getting to mics was just hell every time. I was moving here. My life was in a transition period, and I could not do my life and go to open mics. Mm-hmm. I just couldn't fucking do it. And then I also took, I had a shroom trip too, that showed me that I needed to slow down and just be a person for a second. So I did that, and I felt good. I felt like I was taking in life in a way that I'd never done before. I feel like getting back into comedy, now I'm getting my groove back again. I feel like I'm a better comic. I feel like I'm way better now.
Yeah, I think it's completely necessary.
Yes.
It's so necessary to take that time to yourself to still be a human being.
Yeah.
Because I think we talked about this last time too, is like people just get so lost into a project. It's like comedy is just a very long art project when you think about it.
Pixar's Soul? Shit, never mind that. I was going to reference it. Pixar does a really good job at visualizing emotional things. And in Soul, basically there's this concept of the zone, and then they had another word for it, but it's essentially obsession. So the main character is good at piano. So when he's playing piano, there's these colors, and it's beautiful when he's in the zone. He's in the pocket. I'm sure you feel that when you're on stage and you're doing well. And then there's that fine line between in the zone and then obsessed with it. And then you see people go from the zone into obsession, and it's this dark, dank feeling. And I think I was obsessed.
Yeah, and people get obsessed. And the good thing about it is that you're hyper aware enough to understand that this is getting to the point where it's unhealthy. You know, because you're prioritizing doing comedy over literally anything else. Yeah. You know, whether it be spending time with people who don't do comedy, right? So, you know, that's why I'm saying it's so necessary. And I've taken several breaks, you know, sometimes for months at a time where I'm not doing a lick of comedy, but I'm going out, I'm meeting new people, I'm going and doing things, and I'm seeing family again, you know, on purpose, you know, not just for an obligation.
Yeah, it's not just Thanksgiving.
Not just like, my daughter's having a party. Can you swing through on the weekend? If I don't have a show, and if I don't work, and if I don't find anything else better to do. Yeah. So yeah, it's like I took that time and I came back and I was refreshed, and you have to fall in love with it over and over and over again. It's like, you know, it's like a relationship. You know, you have to go in and just find new ways of wanting it in your life in order for it to work.
I feel that now. I think when I'm slowly trying to dig my way out of this feeling of, I'm never going to make this work. But I think one of the things that's happening is I went back to these mics, and I realized I fucking hate the environment of the open mic.
I already know why, but explain.
Ooh, I want to make this a game. Okay. Will you tell me whatever you think I was going to say?
Oh, okay.
Even if it's wrong, will you tell me?
Oh, yeah, because I have a whole list.
Oh, I'm excited.
The people.
Okay.
The people, the same conversations you have outside, the going in and the either not supportive of overly supportive crowds, so you don't really have a great gauge on whether your material works. People bumping people just because they know them and like them better, so then instead of going up 8, you're going up 18 or 28. The fact that people, and this is a personal thing for me doing it for a while, is people that just go up there and fuck around or don't take it seriously, or they're going up there just hammered every fucking time. And sometimes, I mean, if I go to a late night mic, chances are I'm drunk and I won't remember my set. So that's when I told myself, okay, no more late night mics. And then if you do, you're not going to be drinking. But the thing that I've been doing lately is like, that you can get high as hell though. And then I realized that's just as bad. And people think I'm fucked up all the time. But realistically, I don't, outside of one or two mics a week, I don't drink outside of comedy, which is I realized was becoming a problematic factor as well.
It's very easy to drink when you're at the bar in comedy.
And for me being a woman, I hardly buy my drinks. So it's like, you know, they're like, you want to drink? Yeah. You want to drink? Yeah. And sometimes people will just bring you drinks, you know, and goddamn, when I was hosting shit, when I was producing, people would just bring you stuff.
Do you ever get worried about, and I'll get to my answer about the open mic stuff, but do you ever get worried about like getting roofied and shit?
I had that happen before.
Okay, you want some more coffee?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to need another cup for this one. I think that's what it was, because the last mic I did with you, I was drinking. So that's when but that's the thing, because if I'm sober at a mic, this is how I am. But or at a show, but if I have a little bit of alcohol in me, I'll say whatever comes to the top of my head, and I'm more personable. So, so one last thing, and I was talking about this with other people too, and my friend who's a Taoist, I did a ceremony with her too to try and help. And she was talking about, how comedians carry a lot of chaotic energy. I don't know if you know about Taoism, but they believe in...
There's Tao, and Buddhism. Right?
I can't tell you what the differences are. Okay. I just learned more about one. So they essentially believe that everyone has karma, even people that are dead. And so you are guided by spirits, and those spirits are often misguided because they're corrupt, or because I don't know if corrupt's the right word, but eventually you do a ceremony and it solves them out. It helps them in some way. I don't understand. I just did it. I was like, yeah, whatever works, dude. Like whatever works. I'm like, I just don't want to start doing heroin. And so yeah, what was I saying about this? Oh, so energies is essentially comedians have very chaotic energy. Mm-hmm. So if you are socially anxious, that you're sensitive to energies, and you go in there and it's just chaos, and you get this like feeling, and you're anxious, and I can't have a conversation. I'm like, I'm pretty on top of it. When you're around a bunch of chaotic people who think similar to how we do, it's terrifying. You have 30 of these fucking people in one tiny little room. So that's what also makes open mics and, comedically dense rooms very nerve-wracking.
Yes. So okay. There were things that you start with the people. That's what you said in the very beginning with this open mic, and your guess of why I was not liking them. I don't want to call it the people, because that sounds a little more mean than I think I intended to be. It's more the energy of the people, kind of like what you're saying, where there is this neediness, this like need to be liked. And don't get me wrong, we all need to be liked, but at an open mic level, it's visceral. Like you can feel everyone's like, you like my jokes, right? Do you like my material? It's like, and it's like I want to sit in the corner and like get on stage, do the thing, and leave, because it's so anxiety provoking. And so when I'm at these mics, like generally speaking, that's the vibe of an open mic. It just is.
That's just people are there to work on their shit, and if there's not a real audience, they're looking to their friends for validation, and it's like, dude, it's like I'm here for the same reason.
But I was getting to a point where I was like, do I hate comedy? Do I hate doing this? But then I went to there's a few times I went to like the Laugh Factory, and I went into the green room, and this wasn't during the Tuesday mic. I just went during a regular show, just hanging out. And I felt so at ease, and I think it's because I was around comics that no longer need that type of validation. Don't get me wrong, there's still plenty of fucked upness about a comic that is getting booked and doing shows consistently. But I was in a space where I knew none of these people needed any validation from me, at least. So I didn't feel any pressure or any weirdness. I just got to hang out. So I don't think it's that I hate comedy. I think it's that I just don't like the energy of the open mic.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to put up with that and accept that, because...
Well, if you hate it that much, then you'd find a way out of it. Hate it enough to not have to rely on open mics for... Right. To get your fix on...
Yeah. Well, I'm not like... I'm going to say something positive.
Say something positive. This needs to be a positive podcast.
Yeah.
What is your podcast called?
Join the Journey. Oh. Yeah, so there's ups and downs.
Let's join the positive journey today.
Join the part of the positive journey. The positive is, since coming back more consistently, people have been warm to me, which is nice. We all get, I'm sure you get the feeling of like, oh, everyone hates me. Yeah. And so... in coming back and starting to show up more, people that I've been doing comedy with the past year, they seem like, oh, fuck, hey, man. Like, they do seem genuinely happy that I'm around, which has been a nice little confidence booster.
Yeah, which is great, and you can come in there and do your thing and then leave. You know, you don't. And because I know what you mean about comics who they're there just for the sake of camaraderie at that point. You know, because you got to think of it like this: people that have done it for so long. You know, and in people that are that want to be like that, they want to be comics to say that they're a comic. You know, for the camaraderie of it, for the whatever badge it carries, and because it's a lifestyle. You know. Yeah. You're staying out every night, you know, a lot of times getting drunk, hanging out with the same people, and somehow acting like you haven't fucking seen them in 12 hours.
A little culty.
It's, oh gosh, it's so culty. It's like I had that moment too where I wanted to be like those people. Yeah. But then, you know, the same thing, like, do you really? And I'm like, no, I don't, because I don't. And it's not because they're bad people or there's anything like that, but it's like I want to see as much as I can out in the world. I don't want to be stuck in in this cyclical bullshit of just a masked addiction at this point.
Yeah, it's an addiction. And another thing I learned. This is another. I'm getting them. I'm getting them back to back.
Get them in,
positivity.
Man. And I'll bring it right back down. Don't worry. You know.
Okay, this is like, yin yang. There's balance.
Let's do it.
I have a white shirt on. You have a black shirt on.
Exactly,
my skin is black. Your skin is white. It's a perfect balance. Man.
I'm
tan. The cups. Hey man.
Look at that. Yes. Okay. Let's do this.
I realized did you sports? You don't seem like a sports.
I mean, I do. I'll watch it. Like I played soccer when I was a kid, so I like soccer enough and I understand it enough so I can watch a full game and get invested in it. Baseball, same thing. I'm not into football, but anyway, what are you? Let's break it.
Well, yeah.
What happened?
Have you seen The Last Dance? Michael Jordan.
No.
Okay, so
I've seen Save the Last Dance with Julia Stiles.
Very similar.
Okay, very great.
Very, very similar stuff.
Very
good. There's this documentary on Netflix, which you don't need to know anything about basketball to find entertaining. It's wildly fascinating seeing the obsessive competitiveness of Michael Jordan. Part of it is inspiring, and when I first watched it, very inspiring. And then as time has gone on, I'm like, this is also really unhealthy. Like, his level of competitiveness, you can't reach the level he reached without being that competitive. But at the same time, like, they would play like quarters, and if he lost, you would see him visibly angry. And it's like, dude, it's not that you're a millionaire. Like, what? Chill, man.
Yeah.
And I watched that. The first time I watched it, I felt similar. I'm super competitive. I'm always comparing myself to other people. When I would go to Mike's pre my break, my mentality was admittedly not supportive. I was in my head, I was like, man, fuck, their set sucked. Mine's gonna be better. And then when someone clearly was better than me, I was like, yeah, but I'm gonna get to your level soon. And like, like everything in my head was like, I need to be better than everybody else at this. This is the only way I'm gonna make it in comedy. And that mentality works for sports because you're actively going against, like, there is someone you're fighting against in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But in art, being angry at another artist for no goddamn reason.
But that's completely natural. Like me as a painter, or as me as this, or me as that, I would hear somebody and I'm like, I'm better than them. Yeah. You know what I mean? The same thing. And if you see somebody you really like, you know, think of rock stars or any celebrity figure. You know, one day I'm going to be better than them. Yeah. And so that but you're right, you have to fall in that obsessive mindset to make that happen, because it's a constant struggle to get up every day and have 100% as much dedication as you did the day before and the day before that to strive towards something. And even then, you have a lick of a chance of success.
Yes, it's very, very small.
There's a reason why there's a movie about Michael Jordan and not all the Michael Jordans that have this mindset.
Right. And well, what I've recently hit is, I'm just a naturally competitive person. I don't think that's going to go away. But I have hit a kind of a zen place when I go to these mics. I don't feel that anymore. I'm far focused on me and what I want to make.
Which is the proper way to do it. Right. You're not going to get anywhere by comparing yourself to other people. All you can do is be like, I see that and I see what people are receiving. I want to do better than that, if not as good. Yeah. And so when you internalize that and then focus on yourself and turn that almost like jealousy, almost that competitiveness into motivation to just start writing better and going out there and doing mics all the time. I don't know where I was going with that.
Yes, I'm a tag in here and say that I think that I'm finding more of a balance of competitiveness, but also just be me.
Yeah.
And I do feel calmer, and that is a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's contentment.
Yes,
contentment. You're content with, yourself when you go into a room because you can confidently carry yourself.
Yes. And I think that may be a contributing factor to that feeling of it's so far away now because I don't think about it the same way anymore. I don't know. I think maybe I'm just in some sort of transition mode, and I'm trying to hunker down and allow whatever is going to happen.
Is comedy what you thought it was when you got into it? Like when you knew you were going to start doing it, and then once you got immersed, was it what you thought it was?
Yes and no. I split it into two parts. There was what it was back home in Riverside, and then there was what it was when I moved out here. And back home, I knew my gut was like, okay, I'm reaching some sort of glass ceiling. Like I should not be the top guy in this scene.
Yeah, what's being a big fish in a small pond.
Exactly. I knew that. But when you are in that pond, it's very hard to see the ocean because you're in a fucking pond.
Yeah.
And so my perception of it was like, in my head, I was like, this is totally, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Like I had built up a little bit of a cult following. I would go a certain place and I get recognized, and it gets in your head where you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing comedy, but it's like, I'm not. I'm really not. Just because some fucking guy who is in this small little area recognizes me because I've been here for years.
Yeah, right. He sees you doing 10 minutes at the same bar every Friday night.
Right. So it seems in that bubble, in that tiny little bubble, you seem like a big deal.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy that quarantine happened and I was able to see like, oh man, I need to get, whatever this is, I need to get out of it. I'm missing something. And then I moved out here, and at first I was, headstrong. I had something to prove, and I was like, no, everyone's gonna find me funny. I'm gonna be the best, so on and so forth. And then as time has gone on, I've realized like this, just Chicago, not even LA, fucking New York, DC, like just Chicago, huge comedy scene. You can go months without seeing a comic think they fell off, and they can think you fell off, and then you see each other one day and you're like, oh God, you've been doing this too? Like, I think what's changed is like, wow, this is so much bigger than I thought.
Oh yeah, there's thousands of people.
Thousands, just endless.
And then they're in varying degrees of where they want to go comedically. Mm-hmm. So, you have a lot of people that dip off to LA or New York, for either music or theater or to be on TV or to write for a late night talk show host. And, you see these people that when you find out that they get these gigs, you're like, okay, there's people that I know that I was doing open mics with that are out, Sarah Squirm's on, what the fuck is it? Saturday Night Live now. And she was hosting Coles for a long time.
It's crazy.
And then when you hear that they get that success, there's also this thing that I think a lot of people experience is the why not me? Mm-hmm. And then you realize, well, that person worked their ass off. There's a reason why, you know who they are and they have no idea who you are, even though you have been on the same stage a few times together.
Yeah.
So it's like people are always going to want it more than you. Whether or not they deserve it, that's up to whoever, but, you just have to bite your tongue and then just nod and celebrate. Good job. Yeah, well deserved.
I think I want to get to a place where I'm not biting my tongue, and I sincerely. It's tough because okay. Let's say you pop and you go to SNL, right?
Right. I get canceled so fast, but they would. Yes. You know what I mean? With the way that they circulate cast members, I wouldn't make it past. They wouldn't even release my episodes.
Yeah, let's you get on something on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
You get on the Eric Andre show.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
And I see that, and there is a piece of me that is sincerely happy for you. There's a piece of me that's like, God damn, yes, somebody I know, that's crazy.
I feel like that'll happen once you start having things start happening for you.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, that your whatever sense of accomplishment you feel you're at the time, and you feel like finally things start paying off. Okay, I'm working my way up. So because your friends making it around you should be motivation that
for you to
you know.
I felt that it was in a unhealthy competitive way, but I felt that a little bit when I first moved out here. I was comparing myself to the people I knew back in Riverside a little bit, and I was like, well, I did this. And so I felt sick even when I saw them doing things and popping in their own ways. I was like, well, I'm doing my thing. I'm in Chicago, I'm doing my thing. So I felt that. And now that's dulled a bit. And now, like, I have a big disconnect with those people. I don't see them anymore. It's been like a year.
They've moved, they
we all
moved on.
Yeah, we all move on, do our own thing. Now my focus has shifted in Chicago, and the people, it's reframed now, where now I'm comparing, and I need to stop, but I'm comparing myself to people who have been here longer, who are far further in this than me. And it's part of the game. And I'm trying to be happy while also pursuing this.
Yeah.
I think I thought, like, I have to be miserable until I'm successful. That's what I thought.
No, you got to enjoy the journey. That's the problem.
It's the Journey podcast, man.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it, man. I still have very bad sets sometimes to where I'm like, oh, they're never booking me again. Yeah. But, that's just how it is. But the thing is, I don't react to those sets the same as I did. Like, how long have you been doing it? You've been doing it for a while.
Going on 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years. So you've been doing it longer than me. I always accumulate time by when people come to Chicago. So I just assume people move here to do comedy, and I forget that. So you've been doing it longer than me. So, at least you have that. You're not coming into this pond with nothing and then having to make a name for yourself. Because here's the thing that's very humbling too, and I learned that after quarantine, because a lot of people that I knew that I started comedy with, they moved back home or they moved elsewhere, and so I come back and I don't know who any of these fucking people are, and nobody knows who I am, and I wasn't used to that because I'm so social, and I would have parties, and I would host Thanksgiving events at my house, and I had all these people that I was hanging out with, and now that those people just aren't there, or they've either moved on. When you're not in comedy for a while, people forget who you are, even fast. And it's not for the lack of you're not memorable. It's just that, there's so many of us that you can just assume that, they're just doing their own thing.
Yeah, it's a lot. But it's I'm trying to find the positives. I'm in my new place.
Yeah.
You look like you're about to say something.
I really like these mauve walls. It's mauve, right?
I don't know colors that way, but it feels very mauve-y.
It's like a grayish pink.
Yeah. What is it about the color? Does it remind you of the psych ward?
It's one of my favorite colors, and yes.
It's very neutral.
It's very neutral, but it's a very nice soft color.
Yeah, soft. That's a good way to. I think
a nice soft color.
I think my apartment feels very soft.
Which gay flag is this one?
That one's the trans flag.
Oh, okay.
And then that one's I guess you'd call it the African American flag. I don't know.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, because it's not it's the African colors with the American flag, and it is there. To me, there's a distinction. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable putting the African flag up because I don't know enough, and
right.
I feel
the American flag would send a weird message for sure.
And I'm not putting up the regular American flag. To me is so goddamn toxic and horrifying. Like Roe v. Wade, Jesus Christ. Roe v. Wade, I'm pretty sure they're going for gay marriage next, right?
I have no idea. I don't keep up with anything. I don't keep up with anything because I don't want to get myself worked up and upset. So I think the thing with Roe v. Wade is that just like any other cause, people don't really care. They just they think of it as buzzwords. It's something they can care to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that I've been seeing it, especially in the comedy scene, I just think it's another way for a lot of men to just poke fun at women's suffering.
Okay. I have questions.
I have answers.
This is exciting. Let me figure out how to word this.
Yeah, no. I'm not like this super like toxic masculinity. It's not that. It's more so like as someone who's had that done,
mm-hmm.
and seeing people who haven't, and that's men and women, because
mm-hmm.
those are the only two people that I really see going up there and doing jokes about it.
Mm-hmm. It's
like for women, I think they are saying the things they're saying because they haven't experienced it,
mm-hmm.
the natural feeling that you feel. Like I started telling jokes about it way before I was ready to do it, but because this happened, I felt like I was compelled because I was getting angry at the things people were saying on stage,
mm-hmm.
because it wasn't necessarily talking about why women need this much as it is people poking fun at the fact that men poking fun at the fact that women can't do it, and then women poking fun at the fact that they're going to get it done either way, which is the way I've been interpreting it. And the thing that like was with me, and honestly I think part of that is kind of why I went to the psych ward, was because I didn't allow myself to feel the regret that I felt. I felt like I had to numb it, but because of the fact that all this was going on, I felt like I was pressured into feeling like I was proud of myself.
Right.
And I was feeling silenced because inside I was suffering. But I couldn't talk about why I was feeling so awful, because I'm supposed to go up there and be proud of the fact that I had that done, and you're not going to stop me. Like, I'm not going to have a kid I don't want. I didn't feel those feelings. I felt a lot of regret, but I felt silenced.
Now I have multiple things.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, first, that whole taking a break and coming back, and it reframing how I feel about open mics. One of the things I've noticed is there is a cookie cutter white dude style of comedy. Mm-hmm. And mm-hmm. I don't know how to describe it yet, because I'm reintegrating myself back into things consistently. But it was, when you step away from something, you come back and then you see it, it's like, whoa, what the fuck am I? Why do I feel like I've seen the same guy like 17 times? What is that? And I'm assuming, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming whatever I'm picturing is the same type of guy that are making the types of jokes that you're probably annoyed by.
Right.
And I don't know where I'm going with this.
It's a perspective too, right? Because it's like, yeah, you see a lot of white guys doing it, but I see a lot of just general perspectives on the same take, and they're all shitty. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I have yet, and I've been doing open mics, doing shows with people, I have yet to see one abortion joke actually be like, that was really good.
The nuances of what that is.
Their take on it, because you can tell it's fake. Mm. Two, it's either just edgelord or it's just a really poor, stupid punchline. I've just, and seeing all these reels about it, I'm like, they're all terrible. Right. Every single one I've seen.
I think, and I have no intention of making Roe v. Wade jokes, because it's
well, it's like, by all means do it if you have a good take on it that nobody else is doing. The thing is, everybody's coming at it from the same angle.
Yeah.
They're so pissed at the fact that people aren't allowed to do it, that they're making these edgy fucking jokes and they sound stupid.
Have you seen Bill Burr's new special?
No.
Do you like Bill Burr?
He's fine.
Okay.
He's fine.
I think he has a take you might actually enjoy.
Okay.
In his new special. But regardless, for me, first off, let me get this fucking obvious shit out of the way. Freedom of speech, comics say whatever they want. I support all of that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is me speaking for myself.
Yeah. People can say things and have it still be stupid, and you got to respect it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't got to respect it, but
I don't have to respect.
I'll accept that you said it.
Yeah, publicly, I guess.
But to me, this shit is like really serious. I'm not a political analyst by any stretch.
Yeah, me neither.
But I've been paying attention since Trump. I've slowly realized like, oh, this shit is actually affects us more than I realized, and it's a long-term slow. They slowly boil you, and it is to me horrifying. And it's like it's gonna get worse.
I don't. and you know what the thing is that I think it's kind of rumored that they're kind of coming after gay marriage. I don't know if they're really gonna do that. Because I don't even think necessarily that taking abortions away from women is to put them back in time. I think that's a very liberal outlook. But when you look at it from coming from a conservative family, it boils down to money. Leave it up to the state to decide if they want to fund abortions.
I have a different take.
Okay.
I think it has something. It's with what is it? The Great Replacement.
Right.
You've heard the Great Replacement?
Nope.
So there's this idea in that group that white people are being replaced by other groups, blacks and Muslims and Latinos, whatever.
Okay.
That guy who went to Tops Market and shot everybody. Do you know about that? There's a lot of shootings.
Dude, I don't watch the news. I don't fuck with any. I don't even pay attention to shit. Go ahead.
So this dude drives to Buffalo, New York. He goes to an all-black neighborhood. He drives like 3 hours away from where he is to an all-black neighborhood. He gets his streaming camera on. He gets an AR. He has the words niggers on it, and then he has, I think, some Nazi shit and some other stuff. And he streams himself going to this supermarket and just mowing people down.
That's rude.
Yeah, rude's a good way to put it. There's a point where he specifically did this to target black people. He has his whole manifesto about it. And there was even a moment in the stream where there's this, I think he's an older white guy who's on the ground who's like yelling, like, please don't kill me. He looks at him and he says, oh, sorry. Really calm. It was really disturbing.
Was it a white guy?
White guy, yeah. He was like, oh, my bad. And then he goes and he just starts killing more black people. There's this.
I don't mean to laugh. That's just.
It's crazy. It's so crazy.
That's so stupid.
Like he said it like he accidentally bumped into. Oh, my bad, dog. Sorry about that.
I'm so sorry. And that's like what happened is not funny. Just the way this fucking. It sounds like a Twitch stream at this point.
It's crazy. It's really crazy. And there's this thing that I forgot. I think it was around J. Edgar Hoover and COINTELPRO where there was this idea, this fear that white people would be replaced. That's the idea.
I've never. I could see why, but I've just never heard that.
And well, it's I think it's very nuanced from the black perspective. That's a thing, and it is very concerning to me because for me I do think it's a domino. It's like, oh, we got this, now we're gonna get this, now we're gonna get this, and I'm assuming you haven't been paying attention to the January 6th stuff.
No, not really. I don't really know.
That also was crazy.
So let me hit you. Let me, because I know that Planned Parenthoods are. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is it true that Planned Parenthoods are kind of stuck in poorer neighborhoods? I don't see why you would know that, but one that I went to was in Waukegan. There's another one on the south side.
So I don't know actually.
So there's this thing, and here's the thing: is that I've gone to a couple of those places, not for the same thing, but birth control, and they always tend to be people of color in there. So I don't know if this is true, and this might be a stretch, but I feel like there was, and not now, but there has been a time where this has been a discussion, and I believe that people believe that they were trying to take away stuff from black women, like the resources like that.
I can see that.
So my thing is, that's why I was saying, like, the Great Replacement, I'm not entirely sure, and I honestly think what it comes down to is money. Everything comes down to money because Medicaid paid for my procedure. Even people that go in and they pay however much money, it's still funded by the state.
Yes, I think it can be both.
And that's, well, and I think that's why they left it to the state. Does the state want to continue to fund, you know, their...
I guess for me, I'm a big proponent of just leave people alone.
Yeah, just...
If someone wants to get an abortion, just leave them alone. Someone wants to buy a gun and is not fucking bothering people, just leave them alone. If someone wants to, if two dudes want to fuck each other, just leave them alone.
Like, don't do it in the street, but just whatever you do it in your house.
Just leave them alone. And it's if someone wants to have an interracial relationship, just leave them alone.
Right.
Just leave them alone. And there's this...
Maybe, okay, I don't mean to cut you off,
Yeah,
but I'm having this thought that, yeah, maybe it isn't about money, because why would they just say, okay, well, we're not going to fund it. You can still do it, but we're not going to fund it anymore. If you left it for people to pay for themselves, maybe I wonder if that's interesting. Why don't they just let people pay for it then? Like, let them pay for it fully. If you need it that bad, maybe you'll...
It's really bad. Did you hear about the little 10-year-old girl that got...
Yeah. I remember reading that when it came out. A little girl got raped, and then the judge said it would be good for her, you know, to have the kid. And so she had to go, to Indiana?
She had to drive to another state.
She had to drive to another state to have it done.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. And I know you haven't been paying attention to the January 6th stuff. As silly and wild and very funny as it all is, the shaman, the guy with the moose horns, you remember him?
Who?
You don't know the QAnon shaman?
No.
You're going to love this.
I don't know anything.
Oh, you're not tapped into this shit.
I am I am blissfully ignorant.
QAnon shaman. So during the January 6th stuff, this guy became the fucking face of it. And you'll see why when you see the picture. So this was him at January 6th going hard.
I somehow expected an element of elegance and mystery. This dude just has a party hat on with an American face paint with a flag attached to his horns.
It's wild.
I was expecting like a cloaked guy with a thing, and it's supposed to be more of a symbol than an actual person from Alabama.
Yeah, and he has a tattoo of a brick wall. I believe it is to represent the wall on his arm. Crazy shit. And
well, they would know that it's cement.
And
that's how little they know.
The how close we were to an actual coup and dictatorship is terrifying.
Yeah.
We like when I remember thinking like, well, that's not going to work. But like the more that has been coming out with these hearings, the more I'm like, oh, they planned this. I thought that it was like Donald Trump doing Donald Trump shit and people were riled up and then just went and did it. But there was an actual plan for a coup to take place if Donald Trump didn't win. And we were a hair away from an actual dictatorship.
That is bizarre. I don't even know what QAnon is. Are they white supremacists? Or
So
I have no idea.
QAnon is...
Give it a positive spin. This is a positive journey podcast.
Okay. QAnon is a group of folks.
Yeah. Can you talk about them in a positive way? Like, give them, like, give them a spin.
Here's the positive spin of QAnon. QAnon is a community.
Okay.
There's a community of like-minded people.
Okay.
Who, I'm trying to give you the facts while also giving the spin. They believe that the United States government is run by demon-worshipping, baby-raping liberals.
These sound good so far. Go
Yeah.
on.
It would be bad to worship demons and rape babies. That is bad.
I don't vote for that at all.
Mm-hmm. So they believe that that the government, there's like a shadow government, and that is run by all of that, and that Donald Trump came in to drain the swamp, as they would say, to fix the problem.
Oh no!
And
this is where it's going south.
Yeah, well, you know, he's an entertaining man. See, look at that positive spin I just made.
Yeah. Do you hate Donald Trump? Do you dislike the man? Do you dislike him, or are you fine with him?
I'm definitely not fine with him. I don't know him. In the same way that, like, I obviously don't know him. I don't know him. From what I gather, he does not seem to be a very good person. He seems to be a narcissist and a bit of a psychopath.
This isn't very positive of you.
It is not. I guess I thought it was funny at first.
I thought it was funny at first too, because honestly, you bring him into office because you think he's going to make a positive change because you're sick of seeing all these cookie cutter politicians that are not doing what they say they're going to do. So you have the relief of this person that's like, finally a non-politician. And then you're like, oh, not him.
Well, when he first, that was the thing that frustrated. Okay. The first, I split it in two again. For me, if you voted for Trump the first go around, I give reprieve for that.
Yes.
Because I understand the perspective of somebody at that time.
Right.
Personally, and my family and people like that, a lot of black people were like, yeah, this is not gonna go well, man. Like, you can fucking see, it's like, to me, it was very obvious that this is not a person that should be in fucking office. But it was funny at first because I was like, oh, this is entertaining.
Yeah.
He's not, there's no way he's gonna the people aren't gonna actually vote for this fucking maniac. And then they did, and then he got into office, and I was like, okay, well, the president's a figurehead. It's not really, there's nothing.
He doesn't technically have power.
Yeah, he can't do anything. And then as the years went by, and then do you remember the Jews will not replace us people? Do you know
No.
The early on, there was a neo-Nazi march because they were trying to take down a Confederate statue, I think it was, and there was the tiki torch. Do you remember the tiki torch jokes?
No.
Okay, so a bunch of white supremacists went to Home Depot and got those tiki torches that you put like a manila around when you drink fucking Mai Tais and shit. And they carried around tiki torches and they yelled, "Jews will not replace us." And they did the Hitler salute and all that.
That's not even a thing over here. That's not.
And then there were counter protesters and one of the neo-Nazis ran over this woman and killed her.
What?
Yeah. And then Donald Trump did a speech where he said, they're fine people on both sides. And it was like, it is so.
That sent the wrong message, I think.
Yes. It allows these people to continue to rile up.
It validated their reaction.
Right. And their behavior.
Yeah.
And it's like him as a reality TV show star. I'm fine. I don't give a shit. I think that's how to answer your question.
Yeah.
Outside of the presidency, what he's done, if he wants to go make $1 billion, whatever he wants to do, I don't give a fuck about that. I give a fuck when he is affecting my life. Like, my life got harder when he became president.
Yeah.
And it continues to get scarier and more concerning. And I just, personally, I think we are very close to something very big happening and very bad. Like, I since...
Still.
Yeah. It's... The long game. Republicans are organized. Conservatives are organized. I'll give them that. Liberals have this issue with the nitpicking and fucking well technically this and this name has to go with this, and it's like they're bickering amongst each other. Conservatives have like, this is what we believe, and if you're not a part of our gang, get the fuck out. And they're organized and they're consistent. So what they do is, all right,
I feel like if liberals and the Democratic Party were more like that, I feel like more would get accomplished. I feel like this happens when someone believes in what they do so badly that it goes left field, mm-hmm. and it spins and they get out of control. Like, conservatives, everybody fucking does it when you get so obsessed, you know. Competitive. You just turn into the Michael Jordan
of politics.
Yes.
I guess to me it's like it feels like the writing is on the wall. You establish a lack of trust in the media, which is an understandable lack of trust. But you establish a lack of trust in the media. You establish that your information is the correct information, no matter what. Then you loosen gun laws for maniacs to get guns. Then they're working on in, I think it's the South, and I think it's Texas. They're working on allowing anybody to be deputized to hunt down.
Oh no, that's gonna be so bad.
Yes, anybody can be deputized to hunt down people that are trying to get abortions in other states, which harkens back to slave times. That's where the police come from
for abortions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can do that now. But by doing that, you also allow those people to always be afraid of their own safety, so they have to kill people.
Oh no,
that's
not going to end well at all.
You give more money to the police, more and more money to the police. You take, and slowly they're adding the sodomy laws again, meaning it is illegal to do anything but vaginal sex. And
who's going to enforce that?
That's what happened to you. You know about I can't remember what the law case was, but it was in Texas. This is what made gay marriage or gay relationships illegal. There was a gay couple in their house having sex. Their neighbors called the cops. The cops broke in, saw that they were having gay sex, which is illegal, and then took them to jail and made more laws that like people, they can kick in people's doors now. I don't know if you know about, they took away the Miranda rights. The police don't have to read you your Miranda rights anymore.
This is all just making Texas sound very sus.
Oh no, this is America.
Oh, this is just America.
America as well. They take away the requirement of the police saying your Miranda rights. So by doing that, they didn't tell you your rights. So therefore, they can do whatever they want technically. It's a domino effect that is going further, and eventually it's going to be gay marriage, and eventually it's going to be. There was a senator who said, let's take away Brown versus Board of Education, which was the right after Roe versus Wade. Brown versus Board of Education is integration.
Miranda rights.
Miranda rights.
I'm sorry. I know what those are.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, because it's like, oh, yeah, they took away Miranda rights. I'm like, well, if they don't say the thing, how does
yeah.
What does it matter if they do or don't say it?
By saying all of your rights, how do I put it? The big part is anything you say can and will be used against you in court of law. That's a big part of it.
Uh-huh.
By not saying that, they how do I put it? They can manipulate the situation by saying, well, we didn't tell you can or can't do such and such thing. You've committed a crime. Now you're in more trouble. If that makes any sense. It's very convoluted. And
it's kind of like reminding people, hey, from this point on, any action you take is going to be used further make your situation worse. I get it.
And then I don't know if you saw the shooting of black dude who's running away. He got lit up like 90 times.
Which one?
Yeah, right. Let's see.
Is this recent?
Yeah.
90 times?
I'm not exaggerating.
90 fucking times.
Yeah, I'll find you the video.
Oh my god.
Let's see. What's his name?
This is all. You're just filling my head with bad news today.
Sorry,
you're like,
bro.
Did you know about this thing? I'm like, no. Did you know about this thing? No. Did you know about this thing? No.
For me personally, it's important for me to be aware because I want to know what the fuck is going on around me.
You're gonna send me back to the psych ward. Jesus, I'm over here like my problems, and you're like, how about the world's problems? How about America's problems?
It's sometimes it
It's
puts
I mean
the world
it,
into perspective.
It does. It's like, but it's just like how I said which one. It's like it's just the same circulating bullshit. I think that just keeps happening and it shouldn't happen. And it's like, man, it's sad that this is still such a recurring issue, and the things that we think we've done and accomplished have really not been much. It takes a lot more than protesting and putting banners in your windows. It's so much more than that. But then you have, performative activists and people that are doing good for the sake of saying that they did something good, but not really taking action. These people still don't go vote for who's in public. Like in their local offices. Yeah. They just care about presidency, and people are so focused on that you don't realize that you have all these state people doing things to hurt you. Mm-hmm.
So this was Jalen Walker. This was the footage. So this is context. This man is running away from the police. I think there's maybe 4 or 5 cops.
Is it a teenager or is it a man? Because it's always sad when it's it's like a soft spot for specifically teenagers too. I think
early 20.
Yeah, that's still super young. That's super young.
You don't see Jalen in this video. I zoomed in and cropped him
That's them shooting. They shot 90. I think he got hit 60. They shot 90 times at this guy, unarmed, running away from them.
What was he? What was not the saying? Like, what was the
context of it? If I remember correctly,
why was he in trouble?
I don't know. Whatever it wasn't violent though. That's all I know.
So it was. That's the thing. It's like people are like, well, why would he run? It's not about that. It's the fact that look what little he did to deserve.
Right. And then the guy who shot up the grocery store, I don't know. He was treated daintily, comparatively speaking. He's still alive.
The guy that shot up that supermarket? Are you kidding me?
They got him. Oh yeah.
They caught him alive and well.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Sorry, this is really depressing. I don't know how this happened, but
by the way, I'm sitting up, holding myself in a fetal position on the chair. Just drinking coffee for what I thought to be a
nice light chill
morning session with Aaron.
My fault. Shit happens.
He had his hand their hand on his shoulders,
lightly guiding him.
Come on, buddy, get in the car.
Yeah, I've been put in cop cars and handcuffs. They're not light about it. Like it's yeah. I'm sorry that this podcast became.
I haven't, and I'll just say, like, I've had good and bad experiences being put in a car, and one of the bad experiences was because I had black passengers in my car, and they pulled us out, and I've never had this happen. You know what I'm saying? It's like they pulled us out of the car and searched my car, and I was driving, and I was like, "What the fuck is the problem?" Yeah. But I got mouthy with him, and my friends were like, "Don't do that." And the cops started lying, and I was like, "What the fuck are you lying for?" And they're like, "God," and I'm like, and I don't, because I don't get that, and so I can't even comprehend why my friends would get that. Yeah. Because I think I was probably 17 at the time. I had no fucking idea. I just saw that this cop was clearly doing something he shouldn't have. Yeah. And I was calling him out in front of his friends. I was like, your buddy's fucking lying. You know, why are you searching my car? We didn't do anything. You know what I mean? And they were trying to find a reason, something to ticket us for. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. So
thin blue line, baby. Gotta
oh my
protect
goodness.
That thin blue
and
line.
then when I got a DUI, me and the cop blasted Lady Gaga and boogied on the way back to the fucking station.
Yeah, it's the world.
It's the world, and it sucks.
I don't want to end this on such a downer. So
this is
did you enjoy the coffee?
I can't wait for this. I can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, you just got the public news update over the past 2 years because Jessica doesn't read the news or know what's going on in the world. I didn't even. I heard the word QAnon. I was just like, oh, just white people doing.
It's really crazy.
What's a lighthearted conversation we could just completely 360 right now? What do you want to talk? What's the first thing that pops in your head?
A lighthearted conversation. I'm rewatching King of the Hill, and it's hilarious.
King of the Hill, yes.
King of the Hill is
okay.
Rewatching it, and I am working on new podcast stuff. I'm working on like a film idea I have. So I'm doing things that feel. You're good.
Doing things, yeah. So let's take it in this direction. Since your journey, you took a break from comedy. Yeah. You're coming back. You're finding out. You're finding your footing. You were a big fish in a small pond. Now you're still a big fish with other big fish trying to get, I don't know what a good metaphor for.
Guppies? Eating guppies?
We're not trying to consume our audience. We're trying to become the biggest fish in a tank where other people are also eating our food store. Eating our food source.
This metaphor's falling apart.
Anyway, so what's on the journey for you now that you came back and you have a different mindset?
I think what I'm going to do now is organize myself. I want to keep my space clean. I feel like it's a lot cleaner in here than it was in the other apartment.
Yeah, and you have more space and you just moved in here, so this is exciting.
I'm trying to organize myself, so I'm making a schedule for my mics so I can go to mics. I used to think that every mic's helpful. Every statement
in the beginning, because you want to just get on the stages to get yourself on there. But you're not a new comic. Well, right. You're new, but you're
in doing comedy.
Doing comedy, you know what an open mic is, and you know which ones are actually going to help you or help you. Laugh Factory, Comedy Bar, those places.
So I'm making a schedule of places to every week that I go where it is useful. I'll find like my whatever day spot to work out new shit where it's low stakes, and then this is where I need to show people, hey, I'm good. Like I'm making a schedule there. I'm hanging out with musicians. I'm going to music mics because they make me feel comfortable.
Yeah. You're gonna have to send me that because I like doing that, and you can't tell other comics about them either, because then it gets flooded with comics, and then they cancel it.
It's really bad. Yeah. But I fuck with musicians. I love musicians. Yeah. And so I'm trying to be around that more. I'm learning how to draw. Like I'm trying to work out other creative outlets. I have we got to take a picture, by the way.
Okay.
My Polaroid camera, which I've been enjoying, and I'm gonna do this new thing with the podcast where I take pictures with people I do the podcast with.
You look like one of my uncles.
It's a very uncle. Me and Christian.
It is,
very
yeah,
uncle looking.
yeah. And my family's Italian, so it's like, yeah. Because you're tall. How tall are you?
6'2".
6'2", yeah.
I'm slouching. I don't know how tall Christian is. And then that one is with Chiron. I did one with him, I think, yesterday.
Why is your shirt off in all these pictures?
I'm keeping it on right now. Just for the audience, just so you know. Okay, my shirt is on right now. I just know them, and there's a different dynamic with two men.
I was like, to be honest, you were a little upset at the fact that they took away, the knocking rights for when you're butt fucking your buddy.
This is
so
true.
This is a thing. All right.
If I need to butt fuck, I want to butt fuck. Like I can't. You can't interrupt my butt fucking.
Yeah, just wait till I'm done first.
Yeah, put the cuffs on me after I nut, please.
Yeah.
But
they don't even clean it off his back. His hands are back there. He's like, oh no.
It's so sticky. Well, this has been fun. Now the ending has been fun. We hit a low point in there, but we dug out. Yeah.
It just ended on anal.
Ended on anal. Bye.
All right.